Welcome viewers. Today at Ambo Foods we'll be discussing omega-3 basics, and to do so we'll be joined by Dr. Bo Martinsen. Dr. Martinsen is an omega-3 specialist who studied family medicine and preventative medicine in Norway for many years. Dr. Martinsen, welcome.
Thank you, Sean.
What is omega-3? Help explain to us what is omega-3 and why do we need it?
Omega-3 is a family of many members, and the most important members are called EPA and DHA, and you can only find those two members in fish and in breast milk. They are extremely important because they are so flexible, and they are making up a very important part of the cell membrane, making the cell membrane function so that the cell can get enough nutrients and get rid of waste products.
Now, why, as people, would we need a lot of omega-3 in our diet?
We need a lot of omega-3 because we have reduced the consumption of fish for over many years. And we are also getting too much omega-6, and we need a balance between the two of them. So when the consumption of omega-3 has dropped and we have an increased consumption of omega-6, which typically is found in vegetable oils and all the processed foods, we are completely destroying the balance of nutrients that we need.
Now, you talk about omega-3 and that it comes from fish, but I've heard that it also comes from other sources. What other sources might it come from, and are those sources better for me than fish?
That's a very good question, Sean. As I mentioned, omega-3 is a family of many different members. If you get omega-3, for example, from flaxseed and some vegetable sources, that omega-3 will be the shortest molecule members, and the body cannot really use it as they are. They have to be made much longer for the cells to be able to integrate them. And if you are getting it from vegetable sources, you will find that you will need huge amounts of the omega-3 members to get an effective dose that will give you all the health benefits. So of all the omega-3 sources that you can have, the most effective one will be fish.
Now, I've heard a lot about flax, to go back to your point. Is flax uses ALA, I think. And what is ALA versus EPA versus DHA?
It's a very good question. Back to the same answer. Omega-3 is a family of many different members. So it's almost like having a box with ropes of different lengths. ALA is a rope that is much shorter than the EPA, or the longest one, the DHA. And if you're going to go do some extensive work with ropes, you want to have longer ropes. And the body is very much behaving the same way. If you give them the short ropes, the body will try to make them longer, to make them useful. And if you therefore get omega-3 from vegetable sources, you are then depending on the body being able to make the longer molecules, the EPA and DHA. If you eat fish or fish oil, they are ready-made. So you're ready to go with fish or fish oil.
Now, I would like a visual to go along with this. How does omega-3 actually get into the cell? And how does it help the cell?
That's a wonderful question that people need to understand why omega-3 is so important. Every organ in the body is made up of cells. And if you look at the cell, we first have the cell wall or the cell membrane, and then we have the nucleus. And if we look closely at the cell membrane, we will see that the cell membrane is consisting of different layers. And the middle part of the cell membrane is where you find the omega-3. So omega-3 is making up the middle part of the cell membrane. And because of this incredible flexibility of omega-3, that is the molecule that seems to be responsible for making the cell membrane thick or thin, and to regulate the passage of nutrients getting into the cell or waste products getting out of the cell. So if you are not having enough omega-3 in the cell membrane, you will end up with constipated and starved cell, and also with a chronic inflammation. So the question will be, do you have enough omega-3 in your cell membrane to make sure that your cell will function at its best?
Dr. Martinsen, you talked about dosage before when you were mentioning that you need more omega-3 from fish sources than you need from vegetable sources. How much omega-3 per day are we talking about?
That number seemed to be probably around 2 grams EPA and DHA per day. That means the two most important omega-3 members every day. And you cannot then just say it's the same as 2 grams of fish oil, because only a part of the fish oil is made up of omega-3 and the EPA and DHA. If you eat a salmon dinner, a good quality salmon dinner, you will probably get about 2 grams EPA, DHA every day, or every time you have eaten that meal. So if we are not eating any fish at all, and we start at the level of 4.3%, we better eat fish almost every day.